Welcome, welcome. Today's class is a fun one. We are incorporating the principles that were outlined in a book that's now probably near 30 years old by Miguel Ruiz. Oh, what's his first name? Don Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements. Lots of reissues of his book, and it's just brilliant because it's so simple. His idea, living more of an indigenous person's culture and lifestyle, understanding that we live, or he was interpreting it, that we live in a place of illusions, or the smoke and the mirrors. So we have to break past the smoke. And so he came up with these very brilliant, simple agreements. Keeping them to yourself will create a lot of peace and harmony in your life. So we're going to incorporate those. So let me tell you what they are. The first one is be impeccable with your word. So everything that you say casts a spell. The words that you choose and the intention, more so the intention that you use with the words. And we can all know those times we feel someone casting spells over us with their words, and us in turn casting spells. And so that being, be impeccable with your word. The second one being, don't assume. Don't assume that you know what's going on. Don't assume you have all the facts about a certain individual or situation. Don't assume. Staying in a sense of neutrality. Equanimity. It benefits us. We're not jumping to conclusions, which leads to the third one. Don't take it personally. Don't take things personally. Gestures, you can imagine on all levels. Don't take it personally. And then the fourth agreement, always do your best. And the idea is that your best is going to change from day to day. So you're kind to yourself, you have compassion for yourself, which in turn leads you compassion for others. We start to recognize we're all experiencing similar situations in our lives, no matter what our background. So with no further ado, I would like to begin, please, on the belly for a Sphinx posture. And I'm going to also have a block handy so that my head has a place to rest. And I also like to have a blanket for my elbows. And because we'll be situated here for a few minutes, that's going to make things a lot easier. And you can shrug into the shoulders here. Feel the shoulder blades going up and down with your movement for just a few movements. You can even do big circles. In fact, let's do that. That feels really good. So sinking in and then drawing the scapula bones so they glide around here. And nestling, we're going to release in the tush, right? So the derriere, all muscles there, relax and let go. There's a compression. Too much of a compression can be relieved by lowering your upper body. Either lowering the upper body or pulling the tummy in, but then you're contracting muscles, and that's okay, but probably to relax. We're doing more restorative here. So being impeccable with your word. Don't assume. Don't take things personally. And always do your best. And so when I stated those, it was more like in relation to the world. And I'd like this class to be those concepts, those agreements in relation to ourselves. So we're impeccable with the words we give ourselves. And I have a friend, she calls that self-hypnosis. When we talk to ourselves, we're hypnotizing ourselves. She's a Joie. Some of you ladies know Joie. She's been studying hypnosis, and all self-talk is hypnosis. So what are you hypnotizing yourself with? Because
Generally, it's words, could be pictures. So don't assume, I guess, making assumptions with the level of flexibility of our body or
ability to bounce back. We have about another minute here, so with this last minute, I'd like you to rise up more strongly in the shoulders. Those of you that want to stay in a seal pose, so coming up as high as is comfortable. This is, for me, where I'd like to stay as far as compression. And then not taking it personally. The position, the way in which we have our yoga practice, not taking our body so personally so that we stay or you know, reflect in a posture of malaise, you know, where things are always bad for us, our bodies are deteriorating, and so we get down this jargon of complaining and taking the symptoms of our body personally. It is a process to decline, and that's what we're meant to do. Last 15 seconds right here. Always do your best. So hold in here. I know it's a lot on the shoulders, or at least it is for me right here, but I feel a lot of opening happening in the back. So we're going to release now. Release all props out from under you and take your head down to the mat, turning your neck. And let's hike up one knee because that's going to feel really nice. Rotate your arms so that the elbows glide up and your palms are facing up. So I like to call this reverse scarecrow, or like actually scarecrow pose. So we are hiked up, one knee and scarecrow, arms relaxing the fingers because they're going to naturally curve. Breathe into your body. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And this speaking into existence, this impeccable with your word, is not just stop criticizing yourself and others, even in the subtle, you know, sense of humor style, you know, sarcasm sometimes. It's not always that best energy, but having that pep talk with yourself, that kind of impeccable with your word. So we're going to spend a couple more breaths here. I want you to feel your belly button pushing into the mat. For the next 4 breaths, you lifting up your body diaphragmatically. The diaphragm expands the belly, lifting you up at the waist. One more breath here. Big exhale. Sliding back to center. And we could really stay there for a while. I'd like to go into some cat twists. So back up onto the elbows, bending the right knee. So right foot is elevated. And you're going to turn in that right arm. So you want to be situated up on the shoulder because the left hand is going to grab the right ankle or foot, or even taking a strap, you can hold on to your pant leg. So once you're here, we're going to do a little bit of a lifting up and a back bend to start. That knee will elevate for you. The trick, or the idea is that you're pushing. It's not really a trick. The physics of it is that you're pushing your foot into your arm. Open up the chest. 3, 2, relax and release. Keep holding that leg, and we're going to go right into the twist. So roll over onto your right side into cat catching its tail. So that free leg, which is the left leg, can come straight, or it can stay bent or stay along your side. But you want to hike it up a little bit. This is a back bending twist. So kind of what life asks of us, to back bend and twist with life, with situations. Stay in the camera. So don't take it personally. Always do your best. Don't assume. Don't assume your body, first of all, has the ability to go somewhere, pushing yourself. But don't assume that you can't write that book, start that cooking show. Every journey of 1,000 miles began with the first steps. And so that impeccable with your word. And then don't assume that you can't do whatever it is. It's your mind, your heart, that you are unable to align your words with your dreams. And again, this is always a process. So as you relax here, relate to those two together. Don't assume, and be impeccable with your word. And that goes for others too. Don't assume you know what others are capable of or not. This being our final minute, allow yourself to give in wholly, completely. Let go of any of the practice now that we were talking about. Just let whatever concepts relax in your mind. So we give ourselves a break from concentrating. Melting right here, last 30 seconds. Grounding, melting, sinking, releasing, bending further, getting out of the way. And we can let go of the legs, start to come onto just the side. We don't need to rush back onto the belly yet. Let that spine collect a neutral zone. We won't assume that we are 10 years younger. So we're moving mindfully. So we're not assuming anything about this body. Reversing, please. The other leg, this case, it's the left hike is up. Turning your head to that one side. And we'll do the cactus arms once again. Elbows up, hands and palms facing up. And breathing diaphragmatically at the belly button. Feel your body lifting with every inhale. Fill, and let it go. And just once more, along with me, expanding the belly. Pulling the string of the belly button, lift, expand, 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 and let it go. coming out of the scarecrow. Sliding back, bending the left knee this time. We're going to prop up on the elbows nice and tall. Left elbow strong, rotating that left hand forearm in and reaching back behind. It might feel good to pull in at first, and you can even lift the leg here. And then as you pull that leg and the arm opens up, the heart and the lung area, there's a kidney meridian, and if you can even lift both knees off the mat. Just a little option for those that feel that quality in the spine and the shoulders that feels good. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly lowering down and mindfully rolling over to the left this time. Top leg can straighten, bend, and we want to bring the leg up into the belly area. That would be the right leg in this case, because that's where the twist is going to happen. So by all means, you can stay with simply just the back bending, foregoing the twist. So what does it mean to take the symptoms of your body personally? In other words, take, for example, anxiety and depression, a tendency to be manic. Taking that personally, as if the body, the mind might be out to get you, or being someone with arthritis and getting angry with the body, getting angry that somehow it's a personal thing that the body would deteriorate. Instead of embracing and knowing that there's a deeper progressing of age that is a mystery and that requires loving kindness towards ourselves. Life is hard enough without our own self beating ourselves up if we are, instead of building ourselves up from wherever we are. Wherever we are at this time is exactly where we need to be. You are exactly where you need to be, and others as well. So let all that sink in. Breathe into this back bending twist of cat catching its tail. If you're a cat lover like myself, it's nice seeing all the bending and they can pretty much sleep anywhere with any bending of the spine, arms and legs. If you have owned cats, you'll know that. Master acrobats that they are. Final minute here, so sinking in. You've got a memory foam mattress underneath you. Give all your weight, feeling heavy and light at the same time, letting your limbs relax. Face, eyes, oh, the eyes. Let the muscles around your eyes really soften. Maybe they'll open with that, and that's okay. We'll release our cat's tail. It's time to stretch kitty. But first, let's rest on the side. Always doing your best and carving out the time to be here for your practice. Certainly a form of best. And coming over into the knees, please, for a child's pose, resting right here
in a way that you can have the head supported or turn to one side. So I think I'm going to have something, a bolster, a pillow, something holding up, turning your head to one side here. So I just want to, while we rest here for the next few minutes in our child's pose, I want to ask you, just rhetorically, if you were to be more impeccable with your word, how would things change for you? How could things change for you? Are you willing? Is this a willing change? If you were more impeccable with your word to yourself and to others. And then we'll move to, if you did not assume, if you had a storyline in your head without all the facts, blame, resentment, these things would fade away. We don't assume we know the inner workings of another's mind. And we can't assume that others understand us. We can seek understanding and wish understanding, but to ask another to understand us, it's impossible. I'm going to turn the head to the other side now in child's pose. Nestle perhaps those hips a little further apart. And then moving to don't take things personally. You're perfect as you are. And anything that draws a margin around you or marginalizes qualities of who you are, that you're undeserving or unable. But also knowing that we are human and we're here to learn. And so acceptance, accepting of our personal selves, loving our personal selves, compassion. And then take all these things and do your best. Let's continue marinating on that for this last minute here in child's pose. Last 3 breaths here. And gently coming up from the child's pose. And to give us a little contrast, up onto the hands and knees. And straighten one leg out, blood flow, lymph flow. Stretch up through the calf and the hamstring, the back of the knee. Just push the back of that knee up. And we'll go into cat-cow world. So shoulders, dip sternum, falls, lifting the gaze, dropping the belly, lifting the hips. Rotate the spine the other way, neck tucks in, hips tuck in, pushing the spine, push your shoulder blades apart. And then reverse, sternum sinks, belly sinks, tilting hips and head. Exhale, rounding your tail and your chin and spine up to the ceiling. So this next one is going to be like mad cow, mad cat. You're basically doing circles like you're circling the head and the hips at the same time. And now we're going to reverse that direction and be mindful. You might get dizzy sometimes. So just go slowly. Asterisk, go slowly. Mad cat, mad cow. Coming back to a neutral spine, tuck your toes. Let's shake out the hands, circle the wrists. I like a good shake. And the wrist circles each direction. So a little bit more in the toesies. And let's check in with balance. Remember, in our yoga practice, the navel and the pelvic floor, the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandhas, are powerful in keeping the body centered. So find a plumb line. I love this mat. I've got a natural plumb line here. So and if you ever come across a mat with lines, beautiful. Right arm forward, left leg back. Now I'm going to untuck my toes on the right leg. Start to lower just slightly, at the same time pull up on the navel. And this is working the inner working. So yeah, you're going to be shaking around and there's going to be a little bit of a pressure in the wrist. So I want you to shift that wrist pressure into more of the mound of the big thumb. The big mound in the thumb and the index finger, lifting a little higher, belly button, and then release. If you need to circle your wrists, go for that. Otherwise, shift your weight over, reverse now, left arm, right leg, and shift your weight out of the wrist slightly more into the thumb and the index finger in the arm, lowering that right hip, and pull the belly button in and up. So aligning the spine, and so here we go. We're going to switch now, and as you switch your direction, slide. Now it's right and left, right hand, left leg. Inhale, exhale. Let's come back. One big exhale. Inhale, lift, switch directions, and seamlessly inhale, exhale. Seamlessly switch the shift of weight. So I shouldn't even be seeing, or you shouldn't be seeing me shift so much that it's a noticeable change of the guards. So inhale and exhale. And this stuff is all sensory. Last time, here we go, left and right, left hand, right leg. And I hope that was a good time for you. Not too much wobble wibble. You can always practice that every day. Let's come back onto the toes, and we're going to sit back further onto the feet. We can take the hands, power those palms forward, open up the joints of the hand, and then pushing the hands forward, pull the fingers apart, stretching the shoulders here, and then flip the palms up to the head. We're going to come off the heels, draw the belly button and the Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor up. Lift the armpits. Hands behind the back, interlace. Open the heart, draw open the collarbones, lifting your gaze, drop the head back, drop your chin and jaw open. Take your hands to the small of your back, either staying here for camel pose or reaching down at your heels for camel pose. You can always just stay where we first started, which was the arms behind the back. So if you're in camel, you're pushing your heart up and your hips forward.
coming out of camel. Hands back behind the back. Open up the shoulders, and we're taking the top of the head to the mat as close to your knees as possible, and arms up and over. So you can apply a little bit of pressure into the neck. If not, you want to sit back on your heels for those of you with some neck sensitivities. Otherwise, I even like to roll up and down the crown line here. You can get a nice massage, and it stimulates the bone on bone and cartilage of the neck. Not a bad thing, just as long as it's a mild pressure. Just waking up. And now releasing the arms, we're going to stay right here with our head. We're reaching back for the heels, so tuck your toes. If you don't have your toes tucked, we're going into rabbit pose. So with rabbit pose, you're reaching back, you find your feet, find the arch of your feet, hold on here. So that's part one. And then you're going to lift your hips and push your hips forward and feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. Let's see, I have my feet apart. It's about the same with feet apart or feet together, in my opinion. So again, this has got some oomph to it. It's not a relaxing one, so we're not going to stay very long, but hang out here and get the stretch. You know, sit back on the heels if you need to, and then come back into your rabbit. We're going to hold the last 30 seconds. This is also a nice open stretch in the low back. So stretch right there, round, tuck your tail, and then releasing your arms, and we're going to come back into our seated pose. So, you know, actually I would like to go into, seated pose. We're going to do double pigeon. Almost did single pigeons, but double pigeon is not one that comes around as often as I think it deserves. So starting with the right shin, and this is a shin stacking on top of shin. So you may have some non-impeccable words once you get into this pose. We're going to flex both feet, and so shin on top of shin literally is that. So the ankle and the knee are stacked, the top leg, and then I can see that this ankle and knee are also stacked appropriately. And I may need a block here, but I'm going to wait that first 30 seconds. I really think it'll melt. Know that you'll want, that's perfect reason to have blocks on hand, because sometimes they don't melt. And we'll see, I'm not sure. So that's why I wanted to do our double pigeon, because it becomes a little harder and harder the less you practice the pose. So that's what we're doing. Folding over when it feels just right. Yep, see, it started to melt down. There was quite a gap, and it's melting, connective tissue melting. So always do your best. And here's a pose to reflect that. Let's do your best here. I want to also impress that doing your best is not achieving anything sometimes. Sometimes doing your best is letting go and forgiving someone, whatever level that forgiveness you can attain for that day. If it's a holiday and it's a family member, it will be a little harder, you know. You let yourself love yourself when you always do your best. It's your inner child dialogue. So combining now, be impeccable with your word as you tell yourself you're doing good, you're doing your best. You are wonderful at your best, and your best is there because you feel that that's what you have to offer. And so I love you, meaning yourself. I love you, Susan. and you do your best. And how can I not love you when that's all that you can in the moment, whatever the moment is? So casting spells of love over yourself. So wonderful. Taking it a little deeper by surrendering.
Here we are in our final minute. And please
Don't assume you can't make it with a little more
elasticity. Breathe along with me. Breathe and focus on just the breath. Take your awareness off the hips for just a moment with me, last 30 seconds. Notice how you'll melt with that. But don't notice. Last 3 breaths. Stay with me. Last breath. And melt.
Let's celebrate. Placing the feet on the mat and rock the knees side to side. If you like, you can do a few reverse tabletops. So you're just lifting up and dropping back, dropping in. And a couple of, actually, let's do a forward fold here. Windshield wiper. I want to move into the other side, and then we'll spend more time on our forward fold. Left shin is the star now. First in line, or top of the heap, top of the stack of those fire logs. So, ankle and knee. I'm gonna look down for ankle and knee, flexing both the feet right here. And keeping in mind, it's just gonna melt at about a 20-second or so mark and continuing.
final minute. Breathing with me, last 30 seconds, melt here. And last 2 breaths.
And releasing as we rejoice. Coming into a straight legs. Perhaps supporting the back of the legs, the hamstrings aren't feeling like they have the ability to settle all the way.
Folding forward here.
So on your inhale, lengthening the spine, and on your exhale, folding a little forward, inch by inch. Enjoying the next, so we're about the halfway point, so the next minute and a half, lengthening on the inhale, and you may be long enough that you can take your block behind the feet, the elbows still slightly bent out to the sides. Inhale, lift that stick up and out of the pelvis, the stick of your spine, and fold it straight from the hips. We hinge from the hips. I do like the emblem of a flower blooming at each hip bone, so it's blossoming open behind you. Those muscles and connective tissue, fascia, pull apart and create space. And begin to release. We're moving into happy baby pose. So as you bend your knees, rounding your spine, as you hug the knees into your body. Reaching, as you open the knees, reaching on the inside for the instep of the foot or the arch. On the instep or at the inside arch. So happy baby, the knees are melting on the outer edge. So you're applying pressure with your hands. So this being one of our final poses, we'll just go through all as we hold here. Being impeccable with your word to yourself. So if the is indeed referring to the pose here. You know, nothing negative about your abilities, nothing negative about your age or where you are, or where you used to be. And then don't assume you know what your body's capable of. Don't assume that you can't change, that your body can't heal. Don't assume that things cannot get better. And then don't take it personally if this is the decline, if this is your path. We trust that this is our paths, and so we lovingly and kindly accept our limitations as humans, love ourselves through the process of that, and then always doing your best, hugging yourself, loving yourself, giving yourself the benefit of the moment. Not every moment you're gonna feel like it, so you love yourself through that. Rocking a little in your happy baby, applying any extra muscle, or I guess applying pressure, that's what I'm trying to say, pressure here. Final pose before Shavasana. If your hips are lifted here, unfurl your spine so that at least the rim of your sacrum is touching. And you can use your elbows and forearms, upper arms rather, to further open the groin. Powerful pose here. Final minute, diaphragmatic breaths low in the body. If you like, you can do the last 30 seconds in a wide lotus pose. Without catching your feet on fire. Well, I am trying not to catch my feet on fire. I forget about candles sometimes. And I'm going to invite you to come into your favorite Shavasana pose now. Dim the lights, have your eye mask handy, any essential oils that are your favorite. Marinating on feeling relaxed and knowing that you made time to be here, that you are lovingly committed, willing, loving your body. I'm so happy for all of you making the time to be here. It's my pleasure. And a wonderful namaste to you all.